Welcome back to the Fallout New Vegas perfect playthrough. We are going to keep chugging along with getting the quest done in Camp McCarran. An important quest that I really think a lot of people miss out on is dealing with Contreras. Now we have talked to the gun runners, so what do you have to say?
So you're back.
Isaac said they'll have the extra guns and ammo in the next shipment.
Very professional. I like that. Maybe you can handle something bigger.
Alright, what's the job?
Great. The Crimson Caravan has something ready for me. Look for Blake and let him know you're picking up Contreras' medical supplies.
Sounds simple enough. I'll get right on it.
Thanks. Don't come back until you have it. Crimson Caravan is just northeast of the gun runners. Blake's usually in the main office.
Alright, and we're also going to sell some stuff to
You're
Contreras.
making me carry the heavy stuff, aren't you?
So you're back.
Blake is where exactly?
The Crimson Caravan is up north past the gun runners. During the day, Blake is usually in their main office.
Then we're going to see what he's got for sale. He's got some good stuff. But at the moment, not too much that we're interested in. We're more selling. Yeah, we don't need this much 5.56. And why the heck not? Let's give them our NCR money.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Well, that wasn't the right voice line. But yeah, the important thing about Contreras' quest is it gets you this machine. And it gets you a really good shop. So, definitely want to get that done. You could argue for the perfect NCR playthrough we should turn them in, but I want that sweet inventory. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk to OSI. And the reason we waited is because Veronica's flag for I Could Make You Care only triggers when hearing dialogue from the first time you interact with Hildern. So we're gonna make sure that Veronica's here with us.
Hello. A pleasure to meet you. I'm Dr. Thomas Hildern, Director of Operations, OSI East. I presume you're here about Vault 22?
Depends. How much are you paying?
A mercenary, is that it? You won't be disappointed. I promise you. The Office of Science and Industry provides highly competitive benefits. And as an external contractor, your pay would be rather more competitive than those of our regular employees. But we should keep that to ourselves, don't you think? So, how about I tell you what we need, and then you can tell me whether you're up to it. No pressure, of course.
I'm listening.
Imagine, if you will, the wasteland in bloom. Vast fields of corn that grow from seeds and produce their bounty in the space of a month. Orchards of trees, their branches weighed halfway to the ground, hung with fat, ripe oranges, a harvest that could feed a city or a nation. And all this, requiring no more than a few drops of precious water, and the efforts of only a handful of human farmers. Impossible?
Nothing is impossible. First of all, through God, all things are possible. So jot that down.
Precisely. Science has proven that truth 1,000 times over. But how many wasteland savages believe it? Present company accepted, of course.
Just call me a
The body I
savage.
describe to you is no idle fantasy. It exists in primitive form only a few miles from where we stand. We need only reach out and unlock its secret. For that, the OSI needs you.
Scientific discovery is never so simple as that.
Isn't it? One directs one's efforts, or the efforts of others, toward a goal, and progress is made. It's a matter of incentives, nothing more. I believe that the inhabitants of Vault 22 unlock the secrets of vegetative growth. Plants are spilling from their gate. No one tends them. No one waters them. Yet they multiply and spread in all directions. Find the reason for this miraculous growth, and I promise you the OSI will see that you are generously compensated.
All right, I'll do it.
Good. No need to check in with the NCR authorities. I can authorize your payment from OSI accounts. Vaults typically contain a server room on a lower level, where they would have backed up their research data. A computer room, you understand? Download all the information on the central server to your Pip-Boy, and you'll be certain to bring me any notes or samples that you find, won't you?
Anything else I should know?
I thought it was a fairly straightforward assignment. It's a simple question of retrieving the data, which shouldn't prove overly challenging. Downloading the data will be handled by your Pip-Boy. You might think of yourself as a mere means of conveyance. No insult intended, of course.
All right, we're going to talk to
you.
him.
Not that you'll need it. You seem like a reasonably competent person.
No, that was a nice thing to say. Anything to say about that, Veronica?
Even the stupid
Not yet.
NCR
Oh,
is
there we go.
investing in new research. We're getting left in the dust. You know, I've been thinking. The real problem with the Brotherhood is that we isolate ourselves. Our training is top-notch, our technology gives us an advantage, but when it all comes down to it, we're losing because we shun the outside world. We always make enemies, never allies. We refuse to recruit outsiders or see the value in their simpler technologies.
None of that's going to change. It's part of the Brotherhood's identity.
I know the odds aren't good, but I gotta try. I can't lose them.
That's another comment from Veronica.
Did Dr. Hildern... This really isn't any of my business, but... Did he give you a job?
Yes, he asked me to get some data from Vault 22.
I shouldn't say anything. I know that. But you're not the first person Hildern sent out to the vault. There were a lot of mercs, one after another. None of them came back. Then about a week ago, there was a scientist, Keeley. She's unusual. Not the sort of person you'd expect, but she's an absolute genius, and he didn't mention her? Not even her name? Or any of the other mercs?
No, Hildern didn't mention anyone else.
But now he's hired you, which means one of two things. Either he heard back from Keeley, and she failed, or he's given up on her. Listen, I make a fair wage, but I'm not rich, not by any means. Maybe my kind of money wouldn't appeal to your average merc, but I'm willing to pay you if you'll find Keeley and make sure she's safe. Isn't right leaving her out there. No idea if she's alive or dead.
All right, I'll look for her.
I had a good feeling about you. Moment you walked in. I mean it.
And I have some questions.
Of course. Anything.
Can you tell me anything else about Keeley?
Keeley's brilliant. An absolute genius. She plays at being mean, but it's all a front. When you've lived as long as she has, you get defensive around new people. Who wants to make a friend when you know you'll outlive them?
Exactly how old is Keeley?
I couldn't get her to say, but she talked about the war. The Great War, when the bombs fell, like she'd been there. So, I'm guessing pretty old. 200 years? Maybe more.
How do Keeley and Hildern get along?
Like a Brahmin and a Deathclaw, though I'm not sure which would be which. Bad analogy, maybe. They're both Deathclaws in their way. Keeley hates Hildern. She says he's more politician than scientist, and gets in the way of true discovery. And Hildern hates Keeley because... well, because every time they meet, she makes him look like an ass. In front of important people, usually.
And what's your role here?
Head researcher. Mostly on the dam project, but I help out on other things when they need me. Gotta be flexible.
What do you think of Dr. Hildern?
The director? He's... Very well spoken and knowledgeable.
He seemed focused on results, maybe not so much on people.
He's not what you'd call warm, unless he wants something from you. And even then, it's kind of a cold warm. Most of the time, I focus on the science and try to forget him. He doesn't get mixed up in any actual work, though he tells people that he does.
So Dr. Hildern takes credit for your work?
He sure does. Everyone knows it. I've just got to endure this job until the project is finished. But abandoning Keeley, he crossed a line. Taking credit for other people's work is one thing. Sending people to die in the waste is another. If Hildern tries to recruit any more mercs, I'm gonna warn them. What can he do to me? I'm the only one who can run this lab.
Hildern mentioned the followers of the apocalypse. I don't think he did.
My father used to say good things about them, but that was years ago. Back when they teach farmers and ranchers about crop rotation and the like. Nowadays, they've changed. They're doing what they can to discredit the NCR, give us a bad name with the locals. Dr. Hildern trained with them years ago. Not me, though. I'm an OSI girl.
And I hear the food around here is pretty bad.
It's foul, to tell the truth. Most people try to get what they can from the outside, even if it's just a smuggled candy bar now and then. Contreras is a genius. He can find almost anything you'd want. Takes caps to get him motivated, though. He won't do a thing for free. Right.
Alright. Well, I guess we're gonna have a little talk with Hildern.
Yes? Something else you needed?
I'm not the first person you sent to Vault 22. Am I?
I never said you were. You've been speaking to Williams, haven't you?
I'm the one asking the questions, Dr. Hildern.
Fair enough. Begging your pardon, but this is beginning to feel like an interrogation. No, you aren't the first person I've sent to the vault. I'm sorry that I neglected to tell you, but I don't see how it makes any difference.
How many others have you sent to the vault?
I'd have to consult my records. 8? 10? Your point is what?
It doesn't trouble you that you sent 8 or 10 people to their deaths?
I have no evidence that they're dead. 1,000 things could have happened between here and the vault. They could have changed their minds and walked away. I wouldn't be much of a scientist if I leapt to conclusions without proof.
I want double the caps, or I spread the word that you're full of shit.
All right. I'll admit that it's been difficult to find anyone willing to enter the vault. And I'd rather get the data sooner than later. You have a deal. I'll double your reward if you bring me the data. But this is as high as my budget will allow. Now, I know your time is valuable, so I won't waste any more of it. Feel free to show yourself out.
And actually, while we're here, talking to all the OSI people,
Yes? Something else you needed?
I have some questions.
Oh? What might those be?
Tell me more about the OSI.
The Office of Science and Industry. It's a rather expansive topic. I could talk for hours, but I'm sure I'd bore you. Suffice to say, we are the leading edge of the NCR. Our work focuses on practical matters: medicine, engineering, biology. The dam, for instance. OSI routes its energy supply to our cities in the West. That's only one responsibility of this office.
You said that you were the director of OSI?
Director of the entire OSI? Me? If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to plant seditious ideas in my head. No, I direct our eastern operations. I've been responsible for squeezing unprecedented levels of power from the dam. I'm also confronting the problem of food production in what little spare time I have. But I've found some promising leads.
You're doing all these things yourself?
Yes, with the assistance of my team, of course.
The NCR has a food shortage?
Not yet, but our government understands the value of proactive thought. Our studies project an imbalance between production and consumption. Or, for a layman such as yourself, Not enough food, too many mouths to feed. Mass starvation in a decade or so.
What other responsibilities does this office have?
We aid some programs the Republic has sponsored involving sharecropper farms in the area. But those haven't panned out too well from what I hear. There have been complaints about the amount of water we're supplying. But those are just excuses for lack of diligence, I'm sure.
Do you control the dam from here?
Directly? No. But we attempt to maximize its output. You have no idea how difficult it is to provide power to an entire
I worked for the
nation.
power company, bozo.
Fortunately, we also have the Helios 1 facility. One of our external contractors recently got the station up and running. His name was something like exceptional or marvelous.
Fantastic.
Yes, that was it. Exactly.
Nice little fantastic mention. What's your opinion of Williams?
Williams is an admirable researcher. If she wasn't, I'd have terminated her contract, and she'd be begging for work from my former employers.
Why terminate her contract?
Williams has a tendency to feel before she thinks. Not in the lab, but everywhere else. That might be forgivable if she kept her concerns to herself, but she doesn't. Not in front of her peers, not even with contractors like yourself. That kind of behavior can undermine morale. She convinced my last contractor to quit, the same way she tried with you. Probably didn't tell you that, did she?
And you didn't always work for the OSI?
No. The OSI hasn't been around for very long. I received my training elsewhere.
So who did train you?
Before the bombs, I might have studied at any number of colleges, universities. They gave a man a chance to advance himself, or so I've heard. But after the bombs, until a few years ago, anyone with half a brain had one choice: the followers of the apocalypse. Didn't matter if you agreed with them or not. You either played along or you were turned away.
And what do the followers believe?
Knowledge for knowledge's sake. A society of equals. They purport to be intelligent people, and then they spout this old-world dogma.
Doesn't sound like a good place for a person with ambition.
Exactly right. Imagine what the followers could have accomplished if they were properly motivated, if they had a unified purpose. Those of us who founded the OSI, we wanted to put our knowledge to work, and we have to some degree. But the execs at OSI Central, they're still bound to the old ideas, society of equals and all that. There's still too little direction. If I can make real breakthroughs here, show the President what can be done when junior researchers are kept in line, kept focused on task. Who knows? Maybe I'll be sitting in OSI Central in a few years' time, and there'll be no more coddling of free spirits like our friend Williams.
What do you think of NCR's chances against the Legion?
To be frank, I have no idea. I leave the fighting to Colonel Shu, and I expect him to leave the science to me. Too many people have opinions on things they know nothing about. And the more ignorant they are, the more opinions they have.
Hildern's an interesting character.
Yes. Goodbye.
He's very smart. He makes a lot of good points, but he has a less than liberal view.
If you can find Keeley and keep her safe, I'll pay you what I can. I gave my word, and I meant it.
And let's see if I can talk to you about what Hildern mentioned. I guess not. Oh well. Alright. Well, that's a lot of talking, and be prepared for a lot more talking. As we're going to go talk to Veronica.
What's up?
Tell me about yourself.
I like long walks in the desert and candlelit metal workshops.
How can I best use your skills?
I like punching things, but sometimes shooting things just has to do.
Anything else?
Yeah, I've been taking things apart and putting them back together since before I said my first word. You want to build something? Talk to me, and we can do it right there on the spot. Workbenches are for novices. Who knows? I might even be able to show you a Brotherhood trick or two.
What are your goals?
I want a dress.
A dress?
Yeah, a good one. Something elegant and classy, you know? But still stylish. Something that's eye-catching and sexy, but also says, don't fuck with me. I keep hoping I'll come across some old-world designer gown when I'm scavenging, but it never happens. Maybe I should move back to California.
That's your goal. You want a nice dress.
Hey, you try getting a date wearing scribe robes. Might as well be wearing sweatpants. I just like them, you know? They make you feel like a woman. Those ladies before the war, they knew what they were doing.
Is there someplace you wanted me to take you?
Nowhere specific. I just know there are a lot of groups who are actually doing well for themselves out here. I want to understand how and why. See them at work.
Are you well respected among other members of the Brotherhood?
If you take trying to keep me as far away from Hidden Valley as possible because I ask too many difficult questions as a sign of respect, oh yeah. That's not to say I don't get along with them. I just think they don't know what to do with me sometimes.
Ever been in love?
Ever been nosy? I was, once. We were pretty young, but I like to think it was love.
What happened?
She left the Brotherhood. Wanted to put some distance between herself and her parents. Since our membership isn't open to outsiders, some members think that obligates all of us to procreate. You can guess which camp her parents belong to.
You didn't go with her?
No. Couldn't bring myself to leave everyone else behind. Couldn't convince her to stay either. I'd hoped love would be enough to influence her decision, but it wasn't. We were both too stubborn. I don't know where she is now, but I'm sure she's moved on. I still think about her, though. Once in a while.
Do you have any other family in the Brotherhood?
Just my parents, but they haven't been around for a long time. Dad was a paladin, Mom was a scribe. They died in the same battle, trying to hold off the NCR from... something. I don't remember what it was. Guess it seemed important at the time.
And she hasn't mentioned Father Elijah, so we're going to see if we can get her to mention it before we say that. I have some questions I wanted to ask you.
He was dead when I got there.
Tell me about the Brotherhood of Steel.
It pays like ass, but it's hard to get other work with my skill set. What do you want to know?
What's their purpose?
Good question. These days, it's hard to say. Once upon a time, it was about technology, controlling it so it couldn't destroy us again. Energy weapons and power armor are usually tops on our list, although I appreciate anything that's vintage. But that all seems so limited now. We haven't grown or adapted, and now we're stuck in a hole, not carrying out our mission.
How did you get to be a member?
More sexual favors than I can even count. I am still tired from it. No, actually, you're born into it. My parents, their parents, so on. When you're young, you can choose to leave, but it's home, so most people don't. We don't take on new members, really. You can do the math on our long-term prospects based on that point. I keep hoping we'll change that.
What do you do for them?
I'm a procurement specialist. Like I said, it's basically grocery shopping, except sometimes the groceries are scavenged parts and arcane technology. The elder who brought us to the Mojave, Father Elijah, usually had me looking for these old memory units, but he'd never tell me what they were for. Nowadays, I'm usually sent to do business with traders at places like the 188, but sometimes I think it's just to keep me out of everyone's hair.
Do you like being a member?
I know sometimes I sound like I don't. I know. But there's something that still rings true to me about our code. There's an honor to it. We're protecting people, even if it's from themselves. It's a good cause. We just lose sight of the big picture sometimes, treat all our practices with the same sacredness.
What's the Codex?
Ah, the Codex. If it's in there, we have to abide it. If it's not important. It documents our history, too. Part of what scribes like me do is update it. I wonder... Nah, they'd probably catch it if I rewrote the Founder's axioms.
Does the Brotherhood protect people from raiders or other threats?
No. We only protect people from themselves, and only in the sense that we don't let them have the really good pre-war toys. And sometimes it's more like we protect ourselves from them and hope to outlive them and become humanity's sole heirs. We've had people go rogue, though, and start helping people. One chapter had a small civil war over it. We take our isolationism seriously.
Not anymore. Who is Father Elijah?
He was our elder when we came east. A wizard with technology, really. His mind just worked that way, naturally. I learned a lot from him. But he started having disagreements with the other elders. The Brotherhood's interest is in old technology. He wanted to explore developing new tech. And there were other ways he wanted to push, other weapons, ones with ethics questions attached. Rather than deal with him, they sent him east.
Who was this Father Elijah to you?
I would say he was my tutor, but that doesn't cover it. After my parents passed, he looked after me. The whole Brotherhood brought me up, really, but he made sure of it. I never had a grandfather, not that I knew anyway. But Elijah was in some ways what I'd imagine a grandfather to be.
Did you follow him from California?
It was by his request, actually. He cleared it with the other elders. Somehow. They sent him to look into the dam. There was a time when I'd have begged to follow. Watch him at work.
What changed?
He did. For years, he fought with the council. Taught me to question our direction. Meanwhile, he'd become more out of touch than all of them. On our way east, he demanded we stop at Helios 1 to examine it. While we were there, we received word that the NCR had taken the dam. He was furious. Called it children playing with a bomb, but he was mad because we'd lost his power. What we'd use it for. He didn't even care.
How is that different from how any other elder would have reacted?
They're cautious. When they discover something, they respect it, learn its limits, consider how to preserve it. Used to drive Father Elijah crazy. He liked to learn limits too, but only so he could push them. That's not to excuse the other elders, though. They all covet technology for its own sake. Some are just more fanatical than others.
Ever try to talk sense into him?
Yeah, I did. I couldn't help him. He just didn't listen. And the idea that people talk back to him... If he could have made the Brotherhood act like machines, ordering them around with the push of a button, he would have.
What did you learn from him?
Elijah could look at an old device and immediately understand what made it work. And he could see its potential, where it fit with other technology. It's not something he could teach, but he tried with me. Some of it stuck. But that's what he taught me. You ask what I learned from him.
How is that different? What did you learn from him?
I learned what I don't want to become. In the end, there was just him and his vision. Nothing and no one else.
Were you close?
Yeah. I miss him.
Where is he now?
I don't know. Last time anyone saw him was in the battle at Helios 1. I wasn't there. He gave orders to hold the plant until it could be reactivated. But he ran out of time. The NCR overran it. Everyone thought he was dead. But I got a note from him at a comm station. That's how he liked to talk, even to me. He wasn't good at face-to-face.
What was in the note?
It was... strange. Even for Father Elijah. He's always been unstable, but this was... something else. I don't want to say delusional, but I don't know what else to call it. The only thing familiar about it was the signature. He said the Brotherhood was doomed, but that he'd return, save us. But the way he said it... I don't know. Said he'd return with one of the greatest treasures of the old world. Make the Mojave like it was meant to be. Wipe the slate clean.
Interesting preview, foreshadowing of Dead Money. But yeah, I much prefer the New Vegas Brotherhood. The Bethesda Fallout sort of copped out with all the problems. But I've talked about that previously.
Hello.
You're back. Do you need medical attention?
Corporal Betsy from 1st Recon will be coming to you for mental treatment.
Mental trauma can be just as debilitating as physical injuries. Fortunately, I'm well qualified in such treatment. I'll make time in my schedule.
Thank you. Yep, just cleaning up all these quests. We got lots and lots to talk about in the Crimson Caravan as well. We've already been here, so Ringo's already talked to us, wherever the heck he is. And now let's talk to Blake for Contreras.
Hey there. You looking to buy or sell?
He is the only one whose dialogue works for Farber's unmarked quest. McCarran needs a regular shipment of Brahmin meat and spices for the mess hall.
Won't be a problem. We have plenty of spice traders working with us back home, and we could get meat from the local Brahmin ranchers. The bigger issue is payment. To supply the camp with meat will cause some serious caps.
Give him a deal on the price, and you'll have the upper hand in future, more important negotiations.
Well, the Fargo traders have been trying to edge us out on the new armor contract for the troops. This could swing things in our favor. All right, let McCarran know they should expect the first shipment in a week or so.
Every task you complete for Farber just gives you a slightly more discounted food price, so it's a pretty minor reward. Contreras sent me for some medical supplies.
Here you go. Let him know he needs to make another payment if he wants more of this stuff.
Is there something special about these supplies?
Well, painkillers are easy to come by, but it isn't easy finding iodine, allergy meds, and a few of these other items. Why do you ask?
Combining those with chemical cleaners would yield strong chems.
Really? Huh. Never thought of that. The Crimson Caravan isn't really in the drug business.
Yeah, seems like Contreras is up to no good. And we're here with Blake, so why not ask him some questions?
Maybe. What do you want to know?
Where does the Crimson Caravan Company get its merchandise?
Trade routes, my friend. Trade routes. Just about every major town in the wasteland has a Crimson Caravan branch in it.
Do your caravans ever have trouble from bandits?
Out here, we usually split our caravans into smaller bands. That way, we don't lose everything if they get hit. It's not very efficient, though. But hopefully, we'll be able to start running larger caravans once things get civilized.
Where are you from?
A little place in the NCR called Oak Creek. Used to be a farming town until it got taken over by ranchers. I didn't want to herd Brahmin for a living, so I signed on with the Crimson Caravan and headed east. Not much to tell, really.
And that's all that Blake has to say. But now we're going to finally follow up on Cass's advice. And Alice McLafferty is not here. So we're going to go in the barracks, and then we're going to finally follow up on Cass's advice.
Welcome to the Crimson Caravan Company New Vegas branch. What may I do for you?
I'm looking for work.
I'm afraid we have no current openings for caravanners or guards, but I am in need of a runner.
I'll take it. What do I need to do?
Deliver this invoice to Dr. Hildern. You can find him somewhere inside Camp McCarran.
Ah, we're just there. I'd like to know more about the Crimson Caravan Company.
Certainly. What would you like to know?
How long have you been in business?
The Crimson Caravan Company has been in business for over 130 years. We're partially responsible for the progress in the NCR.
Does the Crimson Caravan have any competition?
Well, the gunrunners continue to dominate the weapons market, and the Mormon traders from New Canaan control the majority of the northern routes.
Another New Canaan reference. You're well dressed for this place.
Normally, I oversee company operations at the hub in California. However, the New Vegas branch has been underperforming in recent years. Given the conditions here, it's not hard to see why. I'll change all that soon enough. It's
And
been
that's all we can ask for now. Well, that's not the exit. Alright, and now we're going to head back to Camp McCarran. And, this may seem a little bit... Oh, there's First Recon, heading over to, Camp Forlorn Hope. And this may seem a little bit out of the way, but I also wanted to keep going back and forth to Contreras. And I wanted to have some other stuff to do while we were going on with that quest. But yeah, as you could see from all of Veronica's dialogue, one, you got some nice foreshadowing for Dead Money. And two, you know, the New Vegas Brotherhood is more of a classic Fallout Brotherhood as opposed to just the noble heroes they are in Bethesda Fallout.
Yes? Something else you needed?
I have an invoice for you from Alice McLafferty.
From Alice? I'll see that she's paid right away. Crimson Caravan runs a tight operation. Even out here in the waste, wouldn't do to keep them waiting. Was there anything else? Or were you just here about the invoice?
That was it. But yeah. And it's on something I have talked about in previous parts where Bethesda just can't help themselves with how they handle the Brotherhood. They never, ever would be able to... You actually also don't really turn the quest into Farber. You just kind of get the discount. He doesn't really say anything. But yeah, Bethesda would never release a game where the Brotherhood is like a side quest or isolationist part. Like, it's not in their nature. And then you have Veronica saying things that directly contradict how the Bethesda Fallout Brotherhood behaves, like investing in new technology and accepting new recruits, and like that's such a big problem for Veronica, but it seems that the Brotherhood completely overcame it off screen in Bethesda Fallout.
So you're back.
Hey, these medical supplies look like chem ingredients.
Really? I never noticed that. I'm just following orders here. Moving supplies as needed.
Lying bastard. I want to cut in on this action.
You're one pushy son of a bitch, I'll give you that. Alright, here are some caps to keep your mouth shut. There's a lot of money to be made, and I'm not afraid to share it with reliable folks. Just keep the busters out of this, and we're good. So you got the package then? I need to get that sorted and then set off in a few days.
Here are the medical supplies from Blake.
See, you're practically stealing caps from me. This work is so easy. There's one more job. It's a little more complicated, but I think you're up to it. I need to get some stuff sorted around. It's gonna take me a day or two, so just stop back in a few days.
I'm ready for the next task.
Well, I'm not. Come back tomorrow
damn
and
it.
stuff will be ready to transport.
Alright then. So yeah, we gotta catch up with Contreras at a later date. But now that we've delivered that invoice, let's see what Alice McLafferty has to say.
Hey,
She's not even in here yet. Sad.
Welcome back.
I delivered the invoice, just as you asked.
Well, you've proven yourself reliable so far. Would you be interested in more important jobs?
What other work do you have available?
As much as I like to handle matters personally, I can't be everywhere at once. There is a negotiation with a smaller trading outfit that I'd like resolved as quickly as possible. There's also the matter of Henry Jameson, an employee whose services I'd rather do without. His family connections make it difficult, however. And finally, I need someone to acquire the Gunrunner's manufacturing specifications. This job needs to be quiet. No alarms, no deaths.
Tell me about the negotiation.
There's a small trading outfit, Cassidy Caravans, that I'm interested in acquiring. They've been rather competitive, so it's time to buy them out. I have it on good authority that the owner, Cass, wants out of the caravan business. Cass frequently trades with the NCR, so you'll likely find her at the Mojave outpost.
I want to know more about the problem with Henry Jameson.
The Jamesons are very wealthy ranchers back in Redding, California, and significant investors in the Crimson Caravan Company. I was pressured into posting young Henry as the manager of the New Vegas branch. As you can see, he wasn't exactly cut out for the job. He was much more interested in gambling and prostitutes, and because of his family, I can't simply fire him. Henry needs to be convinced to quit, one way or another. I won't have a useless employee on the company payroll.
What's the Gunrunner job about?
The quality of the Gunrunner's armaments is due to their manufacturing process. They craft all weapons on site. I want to know the secrets of their manufacturing process, which means you'll need to find some way to get inside their heavily guarded factory. I would greatly prefer that you perform this job undetected and without killing anyone, if it can be helped.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. Was there something else?
And that's interesting. You can decline the Gunrunner job, but we're going to do it. The interesting thing about the Gunrunner job is it actually affects the ending slide that we're going to get. Through the process of Cass's quest, we show the shady dealings between the Crimson Caravan Company and the Van Graffs. And if you complete this Gunrunner job, when they're on their way back home to Vegas, the Gunrunners sack their caravan and kill them as a revenge. So, yeah, we're just going to be dipping our toe in Freeside. This isn't our legit first entrance in Freeside. We're just going to go talk to Henry Jameson real quick. And then we're getting the heck out. We also might dip into Freeside in a bit to get Arcade as a companion, but that is for a later date.
Make a brief stop at the Atomic Wrangler, where the booze is cheaper and
So yeah, we just go into the Atomic Wrangler, and Henry Jameson's in there, and it's just pretty quick speech check to deal with him.
Shove off. You're making my luck turn bad.
I'm here to talk about ending your employment with the Crimson Caravan Company.
Fuck no. No matter what that old bitch McLafferty says, my dad said I could be in charge of the New Vegas branch. Besides, I got into a little money trouble with the Omertas. If I quit the Crimson Caravan, how am I supposed to get the money to gamble?
And it's interesting, you could use a NCR rep for this one. So you don't have the Omerta's money yet? I'll let them know.
What? No, wait. Look, I just need time. Don't rat me out to them. You want me to quit the Crimson Caravan? Fine, I quit. You can tell McLafferty that she won't see my face again.
And there's Henry Jameson. Dealt with. And then we will just quickly fast travel over to the Gunrunners. Stealing their specs is actually pretty easy. You just tell the companions to wait. You sit over here. You pick an you equip. Activate is the correct word. Stealth boy. And then you just pick an average lock gate. And all the Gunrunners are in here. Make sure to steal the assault carbine and the laser rifle, because, you know, they have value. And then you download manufacturing specs. And then you can read the stuff. And it seems like they're having problems with the Crimson Caravan. And seems like they're having trouble naming the vendor, John. Little funny little stuff. Funny little notes. But yeah, there you go. Got the manufacturing specs. They shouldn't have left the computer open with the button to download all the manufacturing specs right there for the taking.
Oh.
Whoops. And actually, we're going to dismiss Veronica.
What's up?
Because we'll be talking to Cass real soon. Time for us to part ways.
Why does everyone always say that?
I just think we should right now.
Okay. Then I guess I'll be back at the 188. Maybe digging in some dirt for scrap metal or something.
And we're going to head down to see Cass. One of the stops we're going to do is Prim, though. This has taken a few episodes to set up. But first we're going to drink a little water. But it should be good now. Finally, finally, finally. The Vicky and Vance Casino should be operational. And look at that. There are dealers and everything.
Welcome to Vicky and Vance. Can I help you with an exchange?
I'd like to exchange caps for chips.
How many chips would you like?
Give me
Here's your
1,000.
chips. Is there anything else I can help you with?
That'll be
Play
all.
safe.
And yeah, this is our first gambling. We got so much freaking luck that we should be good. If you don't know, gambling is affected by your luck. And the higher your luck, the easier it is to gamble. Interestingly enough, at 1 luck, the blackjack plays at regular odds.
Wow, this is our first hot streak since we opened this place back up. Here's a little something on the house.
So don't be worried, even if you have like 6 or 7 luck. You're still playing with very increased odds. And there's a blackjack. The Vicky and Vance, though, is pretty low stakes. They'll kick you out after you earn 2,500 chips.
You're doing great. Keep on spending money. Hopefully we'll get some extra action in here.
Yep, and you get little gifts every time. They got blackjack too. Oh man, dealer blackjacks 2 hands in a row. That's tough. And we were on such a roll. But basically, my luck is so high that I pretty much will always double down. That time I got a little worried. Supposedly, when your luck influences the outcome is when the "you feel lucky" pop-up in the top right corner appears. But yeah, gambling will get you a fair sum of money. But here it's just a little pick-me-up to our coffers. Also, if you're truly interested in maximizing your earnings, wow, man, we are taking some L's here. If you are truly interested in maximizing your earnings, right before you hit the cap where they'll kick you out of the casino, you can go and play some slots, which is something we'll be doing.
You're the luckiest player I've ever seen. Keep up the good work in here.
And some reinforced leather armor. Interesting. Did a little glitch there. Oh, that's not the armor I wanted. Or maybe my armor's in bad condition. Well, then you know what? Maybe I guess it's some decent armor then. But, yep. There you go. We're not going to double down here. But we're really going to try to maximize our earnings. So we will be playing some slots. So there you go. We're at 24.75, and we're going to head out to the slot machine. And there's the payout list. Oh, I only bet one chip. Whoops. Bet max, obviously. Oh, and it looks like we unfortunately won a little too much there.
Sorry, you just win too much. We can't let you play here anymore.
Fair enough. I'd get infinite
Welcome
money
to
if
the
you
Advance.
let me say. You can
In what currency?
you can get Legion money, and that's how you can get Legion coins for the coin shot shotgun ammo. But I'm just gonna take my payout in caps. You can even take caps you have, exchange them for chips, and then exchange those chips for Legion money, even if you are banned from the casino. So that's a good way to do that. And one second, I need to think about this. Okay. So, unfortunately, one of the more interesting interactions with Cass is if you pass a 75 barter check during this conversation, you can have a drinking contest with her over the caravan. And your endurance determines whether or not you win, and you need to go collect 12 whiskeys. But we won't be doing that because we don't have the barter for it. Because, you know, this is the perfect playthrough. We sacrifice fun, so for perfection. So we'll just talk to Cass and speech checker.
You come around like a bad habit. What's on your mind?
Crimson Caravan sent me. They want to buy out your caravan.
They want to buy Cassidy caravans? Don't they know it's burned to ash? No. Even times being what they are. Not sure I'm looking to sell. Even for all the whiskey and Reno.
We already know what happened to a caravan. You haven't even seen the offer yet.
If someone came up to you and offered you 1,000 caps for your name, would you take it? Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want to hear your answer anyway. Point is, I made the caravan what it is. It's mine.
I have the offer letter here. The terms are fair.
Alice McLafferty, eh? No, I see the zeros, and I know she's good for them. Still, it's not about the money. Dad'd spin like a twister if he ever heard I sold our name for anything.
Her father is one of the companions in Fallout 2. Are you sure?
Look, I know you came all this way, and that takes some drive, especially these days. Just doesn't feel right, trading history for a slip of paper.
This outpost is the last place you want to be trapped.
That's a good point. It's the caravan clearance that's got me stuck here. I'm sure this bar's getting tired of propping me up. Give me that paper. I'll put my name to it. No sense trying to hold the past between your fingers when it's nothing but dirt. All right. There you go. Caravan's yours. Feel kind of relieved, actually. Guess I didn't realize how much I was carrying around with just the name.
What will you do now?
No idea. Maybe head back west? Though the idea of heading back there with my tail between my legs isn't appealing.
You could come with me.
Go with you? And why the hell would I do that?
Why not? I could use someone who knows the roads.
So you're looking for someone to help, not just tag along. Huh. Walking the Mojave with you can't be any worse than here, that's for sure. Alright, I'm in.
And Cass's companion perk is actually pretty good. Though I think that'll call it for this episode. Fucking monument, hey. I think next episode we'll talk with Cass. We'll explore this area that I explicitly said I left for later, early on. We'll stop by Hidden Valley, maybe progress on EDE's quest, and maybe also finally find a use for some of those Sunset Sarsaparilla bottle caps. I haven't checked, but I assume I have like tons of them. Yeah, 55, yeah. So got a lot to do next episode. I'll probably record that tonight, but I will take a little break. And that's it for this showing of The Perfect Playthrough. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time.